The drift nexus smelled like oil and ozone. Walked through the crowded station, his boots making soft sounds on the metal floor. All around him, aliens of different shapes and sizes moved past. Some had scales, some had fur, and some looked like nothing he could describe. They barely looked at him. To them, he was just another human, nothing special. Had been alone for 3 months now. His crew was dead. An ambush had taken them all. He survived because he was off the ship when it happened. Sometimes he wished he had been there too, but survival was what humans did best. It was in their blood. He found the mercenary guild near the center of the station. The sign above the door showed a sword and a gun crossed together. Inside, the room was full of aliens drinking and talking. The noise died down when entered. Eyes turned toward him. None of them were friendly. Behind a large desk sat. He was a species that looked like walking lizards with 4 arms. His scales were dark green and from many fights. 2 others stood beside him, both carrying heavy weapons on their backs. "A human," said. His voice sounded like rocks grinding together. "What do you want, soft skin?" "Work," said simply. "I heard you hire mercenaries." The room erupted in laughter. Aliens slapped their hands, claws, and tentacles on tables. One of them, a creature covered in thick armor plates, laughed so hard it fell off its chair. Smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. You want to work for me." He stood up, all 4 arms spreading wide. "Look at you. No claws, no fangs. Your skin tears like paper. Your bones break like sticks." "I get the job done," said. He kept his voice calm. "The job," another stepped forward. "Human, my species has hunted for sport since before your kind learned to make fire. We are predators. You," he poked in the chest with one clawed finger, "you are prey that learned to run away very well." More laughter filled the room. Did not move. He had heard it all before. Every alien species thought they were better than humans. Stronger, faster, meaner. They looked at human history and saw a species that survived by running, hiding, and using tools. They saw weakness. "I will pay you," said, still grinning, "if you leave now and never come back. Call it charity for an inferior species." Turned to leave. As he walked toward the door, he heard one alien whisper to another, "Did you hear? 3 of us best went missing last week on Thresh 7. No bodies found." "That planet is cursed," the other replied. "I would not go there for any amount of credits." Stopped, he turned back to, "You have contracts available, show them to me." Laughed again but waved one hand. A screen appeared in the air showing different jobs. Most were simple: guard duty, escort missions, debt collection. Then saw one at the bottom of the list. It had a red marker next to it. "What is that one?" Pointed. Smile faded a little. That is for a creature named a warlord hiding on Thresh 7. The bounty is very high, but the job is difficult." "I will take it." The room went silent. Even the background noise seemed to stop. Stared at like he had just said something in an alien language. "You cannot be serious," said slowly. "Has an army. The planet itself is death. My 3 best mercenaries went there 2 weeks ago. They never reported back. We think they are dead." "Then the job is still available," said. "I will take it." Studied him for a long moment. Then he laughed again, but this time it sounded different, meaner. "Fine, take it. Die there like the others. At least it will be funny." He transferred the contract to his data pad. The other mercenaries in the room started placing bets. Heard them as he walked out. 2 days before he dies. One day, humans are fragile. He will not even land. He will turn back when he sees the planet. Outside the guild, a woman was waiting. She was human, with short black hair and eyes that had seen too much. Her name was, knew her from before. She was a trader who worked the station. "I heard what happened in there," she said quietly. "You should not take that contract. Thresh 7 is not just dangerous. Something is wrong there. The 3 mercenaries sent, they were professionals, the best. They had military-grade equipment and a full combat ship. They landed and sent one message. Then nothing. What was the message? Asked. Looked uncomfortable. They said they found tracks, big ones. They said something was watching them. Nodded, thank you for the warning. You are still going? Yes. Sighed, then take this. She handed him a small device. It is a tracker beacon. If something happens, at least someone will know where you died. Took it and put it in his pocket. I will send you a message when the job is done. If you survive, drinks are on me, said. But her voice said she did not think he would survive. Walked to the docking bay where his small ship waited. Behind him, he could still hear the laughter from the mercenary guild. They thought he was walking to his death. They thought humans were weak. They were wrong, but they would learn. On Thresh 7 would show them what humans really were. Not prey that learned to run, predators that learned to hunt. Thresh 7 looked angry from space. The planet was covered in thick green jungles and massive storm systems that never stopped moving. Ship shook as it entered the atmosphere. Rain hammered against the hull like bullets. Lightning turned the sky white every few seconds. He landed in a clearing about 10 kilometers from his last known location. The moment he opened the ship's door, the heat hit him like a physical force. It was the kind of heat that made most species seek shelter immediately. The humidity was so thick he could barely see 20 meters ahead. Smiled, this was perfect. He took only what he needed: water, dried food, a basic medical kit, his weapons, and tracking equipment. Everything else stayed on the ship. He would not need it. Then he started walking. The jungle was alive with sounds. Things howled in the distance. Things moved in the trees above. The ground was soft and muddy, making every step difficult, but kept moving, one foot in front of the other, again and again. Most alien species would need to rest soon. Their bodies were built for short bursts of speed and strength. They were sprinters. Humans were different. Humans were built for the long run. By the time the sunset had covered 15 kilometers, his clothes were soaked with sweat, but his body temperature was stable. Sweating was humanity's secret weapon. It let them cool down while moving. Other species had to stop and rest to avoid overheating. Humans just kept going. He found camp on the second day. It was well hidden in a valley between two hills, counted 20 guards and several defensive positions. Taking them head-on would be suicide, but was not planning a frontal assault. He circled the camp, studying it from a distance. As he moved through the jungle, he noticed something strange. There were marks on the trees, deep claw marks, too high for any animal he knew, and the pattern was wrong. These were not territorial markings. They were something else. On the third day, found the bodies. They were hidden in a shallow ravine covered with leaves and dirt. 3 aliens in mercenary armor. Missing team. Their armor was torn open, not by weapons, by claws, big ones. Knelt beside them and studied the damage. Whatever killed them was strong and fast. The claw marks matched the ones on the trees, but there was something else. He found tracks nearby. Large paw prints that shimmered when he looked at them directly, like they were not quite solid. Active camouflage, whispered. He stood up and looked around. The jungle suddenly felt different. He was not alone. Something was watching him. A voice came from behind him. You should leave now. Turned. A woman stood there, human, wearing light clothing and carrying scanning equipment. She had long black hair tied back and eyes that were sharp and intelligent. She held no weapons but did not look afraid. Who are you? Asked. My name is, she said. I have been studying this planet for 6 months, and you need to leave before they find you. They. The Shades, that is what the local wildlife calls them. They are the apex predators of this planet. Pack hunters with active camouflage technology in their skin. Natural, not artificial. They hunt at dawn and dusk. Looked at the sky. The sun was getting low. How many in a pack? 4 to 7, said. They are attracted to blood and movement. Those mercenaries you found, they made too much noise. The Shades hunted them for 3 days before killing them. She stepped closer. You have been walking for 3 days straight, making noise, leaving a trail. They are already tracking you. Good, said. Blinked, good. Are you insane? These creatures have killed everything that enters their territory. They are perfect killers. So am I, said. He started walking back towards camp. Followed him. What are you doing? That camp is right in the middle of shade territory. Does not even know he is surrounded by them. I know. You are going to die. Stopped and turned to face her. Tell me something. How do the shades hunt? Frowned. They isolate their prey, herd them into areas where they cannot escape. Then they attack together, using their camouflage to strike from multiple angles. Ends camp. It is in a valley. Natural kill zone for the shades, but they have not attacked yet because there are too many guards. The shades are smart. They wait for easier prey. Nodded. What if I make the prey easier? Understanding crossed face. Then horror. No, you cannot. That is murder. It is called being a predator, said. Humans did not get to the top of Earth's food chain by being nice. We got there by being smart, by making the environment work for us. He continued walking. Stay in your research camp. Lock the doors. Do not come out until dawn. Wait, called after him. What are you planning? Looked back at her. The sun was touching the horizon now. The jungle was getting darker. In the distance, something howled. It was answered by 2 more calls from different directions. I am going to do what humans do best, said. I am going to hunt. He disappeared into the jungle, stood there for a moment, listening to the sounds of the shades calling to each other in the growing darkness. Then she ran back to her camp as fast as she could. In the valleys, guards were getting nervous. The jungle was too quiet now. The normal sounds of animals had stopped. One guard looked at another. Something is wrong, he said. It is just the night, the other replied, but his hand moved to his weapon. Above them in the trees, something moved, something that blended perfectly with the shadows, something that was not alone. And somewhere in the darkness was moving too, not away from danger, toward it, because that was what humans did. They did not run from the hunt. They became part of it. Moved through the jungle like smoke. He made just enough noise to be heard, but not enough to seem like a threat. He wanted scouts to find him. That was the plan. It took 2 hours. 2 scouts came through the undergrowth, weapons raised. They were both heavily armed and armored, professional soldiers. They spotted standing in a small clearing, his hands empty, his weapons holstered. There, one scout said in the common trade language, the human bounty hunter wants him alive. He looks small, the other said. This will be easy. Ran not away from them, deeper into the jungle, toward the heart of shade territory. The scouts followed, laughing. They thought he was afraid. They thought he was running away like prey. They were wrong. Led them through the darkest parts of the jungle. He jumped over fallen logs, splashed through streams, and left a clear trail of broken branches and footprints. Behind him, the scouts followed easily. They were faster than him in short bursts, but did not stop. He just kept running at a steady pace, a pace he could maintain for hours. After 15 minutes, one scout started breathing hard. After 20, both of them were slowing down, but kept the same pace. His breathing was controlled. His steps were steady. This was what humans were built for. How is he still running? One scout gasped. Does not matter, the other wheezed. We have him. Stopped suddenly. The scouts almost ran into him. They raised their weapons but was not looking at them. He was looking up at the trees around them. The scouts followed his gaze. At first they saw nothing. Then the air seemed to shimmer like heat waves, but it was not heat, it was something else, something moving. What is that? One scout asked. Pulled out a knife and cut his own arm, not deep, just enough to bleed. The blood ran down and dripped onto the ground. The scouts stared at him. Are you crazy? Looked at them. You should run now. The shimmer in the air became clearer. Shapes, Large shapes, 4 of them, moving in a circle around the clearing. The shades were here. One scout fired his weapon at a shape. The blast hit nothing but air. The shape had already moved. Then it appeared behind the scout and struck, claws longer than fingers, teeth like knives. The scout screamed once, then silence. The second scout ran. He made it 3 steps before another shade dropped from the trees above. It was over in seconds. Was already moving. He ran in a different direction, leaving the shades with their kill. They would feed first. That would buy him time. He wrapped his arm as he ran, stopping the bleeding. Back in her research camp, watched everything on her monitoring equipment. She had small cameras hidden throughout the jungle. She saw what had done. Her hands were shaking. Her communicator beeped. It was. "You used them as bait," she said. Her voice was cold. "Yes," replied. He was still running. She could hear his steady breathing. "You led those scouts to their deaths, on purpose." "Yes." "That is murder." "That is war," said. "Humans learned a long time ago that you do not need to be the strongest to win. You just need to be smarter. Use the environment. Use your enemy's weaknesses against them." "This is wrong," said. "Then stop watching. Cut the communication." Sat in the darkness of her camp. She should stop watching. She should pack up and leave this planet. But she did not. She kept watching because part of her needed to see how this would end. In camp, alarms were going off. The 2 scouts had not reported back. Their life signs had gone dead. Himself came out of his shelter. He was massive, even for his species. 3 meters tall with cybernetic enhancements covering half his body. His arms were like tree trunks. His face was from 100 battles. "Send out a search team," he ordered. "Find out what happened." "Sir," one of his officers said, "this is the 3rd team we have lost in 2 weeks. Something is hunting us." "Nothing hunts me," growled. "I am the hunter." A message came through on the camp's communication system. It was audio only. His voice said, "My name is, I have come to collect the bounty on your head." The camp went silent, started laughing. It was a deep, booming sound. One human thinks he can take me." His laughter grew louder. "I have killed hundreds of your kind. You are insects, weak, fragile." "Then prove it," said. "Face me. Single combat tomorrow at dawn. I will choose the location and send you the coordinates." "Why would I agree to this?" "Because if you do not, I will keep killing your soldiers one by one. I will lead them to the shades. I will watch them die. And when you are alone, I will come for you anyway. At least this way, you get to die like a warrior instead of prey." Smile faded. No one had ever spoken to him like this, especially not a human. Part of him was angry, but another part of him was curious, and maybe a little excited. It had been a long time since anyone challenged him directly. "Fine," said. "Send the coordinates. I will crush you in front of my soldiers. I will show them that humans are nothing." Dawn said, "Come alone, or I will know you are a coward." The communication ended. Soldiers looked at each other nervously. Their leader was many things, but a coward was not one of them. He would go, and the human would die. But deep in the jungle was not afraid. He was preparing. He spent the night setting traps, studying the ground, learning the terrain, and as the sun started to rise, he stood in a clearing and waited. This was not just a fight. This was a lesson that all the aliens in the galaxy needed to learn. Humans were not prey. They never had been. They were the most dangerous predators in the universe, and was about to find out why. The sun rose slowly over Thresh 7. The clearing had chosen was surrounded by dense jungle on all sides. The ground was mostly flat but covered with rocks and small holes hidden by grass. In the distance, the sounds of shades calling to each other echoed through the trees. They were close, waiting. Arrived exactly at dawn. He came alone as promised. When he stepped into the clearing, the ground shook slightly under his weight. He was even bigger up close. His cybernetic enhancements made him look like a walking tank. One arm was completely mechanical with built-in weapons. His legs had hydraulic systems that could launch him forward at incredible speed. Stood on the opposite side of the clearing. Next to he looked tiny, like a child facing a giant. Laughed when he saw him. "This is the great human hunter. You look like you would break if I breathed on you too hard." Said nothing, he just watched. "No words," flexed his mechanical arm. "Good, words are for the weak. Let me show you what real strength looks like." Charged, his hydraulic legs launched him forward faster than anything that size should move. He covered half the clearing in 2 seconds. His mechanical fist came down like a hammer. Was not there. He had moved the moment started his charge, not backward, to the side. His fist hit the ground and left a crater, was already moving again, circling around. "Stand still," roared. He charged again. The pattern repeated, would attack with massive force, would dodge. It looked like was running away, like he was afraid to fight, but he was not running randomly. He was leading in a specific direction, over certain parts of the ground. After 5 minutes, breathing changed. It became heavier. His charges became slightly slower, not much, but noticed. After 10 minutes, his movements were definitely slower. His cybernetic parts were working fine, but his organic parts were getting tired. He was built for power, not endurance. After 15 minutes, had to stop and catch his breath. Stood 20 meters away, breathing hard but still moving, still ready. What are you doing?" demanded. "Fight me." "I am fighting you," said. "This is how humans fight. We do not need to be stronger, we just need to last longer." Growled and charged again, but this time did not just dodge, he struck back. A quick cut across organic arm, not deep, just enough to draw blood. Barely felt it, but the wound was there. Bleeding. The scent of blood drifted through the clearing and into the jungle beyond. They fought for another 10 minutes. The attacks were still powerful, but they were getting sloppy. He was breathing like a broken engine. Sweat poured down his face. His organic parts were overheating. His species did not sweat like humans. They had to stop and cool down, but stopping meant losing. Had cuts and bruises all over his body. One of his ribs was probably cracked, but he was still moving, still steady. His pace had not changed since the fight started. "You evolved on a death world," said as they circled each other. "Strong gravity, dangerous predators, your species became strong to survive." He dodged another attack. "But humans, we evolved on a planet that tried to kill us every single day. We were not the strongest. We were not the fastest. We had no claws, no armor, no fangs." Struck again, another cut, more blood. "So we learned to run," he continued. "We learned to chase our prey for hours, for days if needed. We would follow them until they collapsed from exhaustion. Then we would kill them, not with strength, with time." Stumbled, his leg hydraulics were working, but his organic muscles were failing. He caught himself and tried to attack again, but it was weak. Stepped inside his guard and drove a knife into the joint between his armor plates. Not a killing blow, but painful. Fell to one knee. His breathing was harsh and ragged. "This is not a fair fight." Fair limped around him. He was hurt too, badly, but still moving. "You are twice my size, 3 times my strength. You have weapons built into your body, and you call this unfair. You are not fighting like a warrior." "No," agreed. "I am fighting like a human. We do not fight fair, we fight to win." Tried to stand but fell again. His body was shutting down, overheated, exhausted. His cybernetics beeped warnings at him. His organic heart was beating too fast, much too fast. "Kill me then," said. "If you are such a great predator, end it." Looked at him. Then he looked at the jungle around them. The sun was higher now. The shades would be getting ready to sleep soon, but they would smell the blood first. They would come to investigate. "No," said he, sheathed his knife. "What?" "I am not going to kill you," turned to walk away. Coward shouted, "Face me, fight with honor." Stopped and looked back. Honor, you called my species weak. You mocked us, hunted us, killed us. He pointed its wounds. I have wounded you, I have beaten you. Now the planet will finish what I started. In the trees something moved, the shimmer of active camouflage, then another, and another. Saw them, his eyes went wide. No, no, kill me yourself, give me a warrior's death. You said humans are prey, said quietly. You were wrong. Humans are predators, and predators do not waste energy on kills they do not need. They let nature do the work. The shades moved closer, circling, walked toward the edge of the clearing. The shades ignored him. He was not wounded, not worth the effort, but was bleeding, weak, easy prey. TA screamed, please. Did not look back. He walked into the jungle as screams began. They lasted for about 30 seconds, then silence. Kept walking. His body was sending pain signals from a dozen different injuries. His ribs hurt with every breath. But he could not stop yet. He had to get back to his ship, had to leave this planet. He found research camp an hour later. She was waiting outside, a medical kit ready. Her face was pale. I watched the whole thing, she said quietly. The cameras caught everything. And asked. That was the most brutal thing I have ever seen. Not because of what you did, but because of what you did not do. Sat down heavily. Now that the fight was over, the pain was catching up to him. I gave him the same mercy he would have given me. None. Started treating his wounds in silence. After a while, she said, is this what humans really are? Persistent hunters who use everything as a weapon? Yes, said. We survived the Ice Age. We survived droughts and floods and diseases. We spread across our entire planet because we do not give up. We do not stop. And we never forget that everything can be a weapon if you are smart enough. Finished bandaging him. The galaxy thinks humans are weak. I know. They will learn the truth eventually. Yes, said, they will. 3 weeks later, returned to the Drift Nexus. His wounds had healed, leaving new scars to join the old ones. His ship docked in the same bay as before. He walked through the same crowded corridors, but something was different this time. Aliens moved out of his way, not obviously, just small steps to the side, wider paths around him, eyes that looked and then looked away quickly. The change was subtle but real. News traveled fast in mercenary circles. Word of his death had spread. More importantly, word of how he died had spread. Research cameras had captured everything. She had sold the footage to an information broker. Now everyone knew what the human had done. Walked into the mercenary guild. The room went quiet, not the mocking silence from before. This was different, wary, respectful, even a little afraid. Sat behind his desk as always. His 3 mercenaries stood beside him. But when entered, one of them took a step back. Just one step, but noticed. The human returned, said. His voice tried to sound casual, it failed. I am surprised. I thought Thresh 7 would be your grave. I came for my payment, said simply. Tapped his desk. A hologram appeared showing his death certificate. Confirmed. The bounty was legitimate. The payment has been transferred to your account. You have earned it. He paused. I also heard about my 3 mercenaries, the ones who disappeared. They were killed by the Shades, said. The planet's apex predators. I found their bodies. Yes, I heard the story, leaned back in his chair. I heard many stories about what happened on that planet, about how you used those creatures, about how you hunted like an animal. Is that a problem? No, said slowly. I was wrong about humans. We were all wrong. One of the other aliens in the room spoke up. It was the same one who had laughed at before, the one covered in armor plates. But you are still weak. You have no claws, no natural weapons. Turned to look at him. You are right. Humans have no claws, no fangs, no armor. He stepped closer. But we have something better. We have time. We have patience. And we have the knowledge that everything in the universe can be used as a weapon. The planet, the weather, other predators, even you. The alien took a step back. Humans do not need to be the strongest, continued. We just need to outlast you, outthink you, and make you fight enemies you cannot see coming. He looked around the room. That is why we survived our planet. That is why we spread to the stars. Not because we were strong, because we were smart. The room stayed silent. No one laughed, no one mocked him. The door to the guild opened, walked in. When she saw, her face showed genuine surprise and relief. You are alive. I did not think I would see you again. I said I would send a message, reminded her. You did 3 days ago. I still did not believe it until now. She looked at. I am here to make an offer to, in front of witnesses. Nodded, speak. Turn 2. I am starting a new operation. Human-led, human-run. We are tired of working for aliens who think we are inferior. I want you to be part of it. Security and combat operations. You would have your own team. Good pay, better respect. I work alone, said. Not anymore, gestured to the door. A young human man entered. He was maybe 20 years old with nervous eyes but a strong build. He has been working station security, but he wants more. He wants to learn from the best. Stepped forward and bowed slightly. Sir, I watched the footage from Thresh 7. Everyone has. What you did there. It showed the whole galaxy what humans can do. I want to learn from you. I want to be able to protect our people the way you do. Studied the young man. He saw determination there, and something else. The same look had seen in his own mirror years ago, the look of someone who was tired of being called weak. Can you run for 10 hours without stopping? Asked. I do not know. Can you use the environment as a weapon? I can learn. Can you outsmart enemies who are stronger and faster than you? Straightened his shoulders. Yes, because I am human, and humans are survivors. Almost smiled, almost. You will start tomorrow, be ready to run. His face lit up. Thank you, sir, I will not let you down. Smiled, so you accept my offer. I accept, said. On one condition, we do not work for free, and we do not work for people who mock us. We charge double what other mercenaries charge, because we are worth it. Agreed, said. Spoke up from his desk. That is a dangerous game you are playing, charging more than established guilds. Is it? Looked at him. You sent 3 of your best to Thresh 7, they died. You offered the contract to others, they refused. I went alone and came back with head. Who is worth more? Had no answer to that. Turned to leave, and followed him. As they reached the door, called out. Human. Stopped and looked back. I was wrong to mock you, said. The word seemed difficult for him. Your species. You are not prey, I see that now. Then what are we? Asked. Looked at his 3 mercenaries. They looked at each other. Finally, one of them spoke. The same one who had stepped back when entered. You are apex predators, he said quietly. We just did not realize it until now. Remember that, said, and spread the word. The next person who calls a human weak might find out the hard way what we really are. He walked out of the guild with and following. Behind them, the mercenaries started talking in hushed voices. The stories would spread, not just on this station, across the galaxy, about the human who went to Thresh 7 alone, about how he hunted a warlord like prey, about how he used the planet itself as a weapon. In the corridor outside, another alien approached them. This one was different, smaller, more cautious. Excuse me, are you the human from Thresh 7? Yes. The alien pulled out a data pad. I have a contract, very difficult, good pay. My employer specifically asked for a human. They said humans are persistence hunters, that you never give up. Looked at, she nodded. Send the details to my ship, said. I will review them. The alien bowed and hurried away. Before they reached the docking bay, 3 more aliens approached with similar requests. Word was spreading fast. Watched in amazement. This is incredible, they are coming to us, asking for humans specifically. It is about time, said. For too long we let other species define us, define what we can do, no more. Said nothing, he just kept walking, but inside he felt something he had not felt in a long time, not since before his crew died, purpose, and maybe something else. Hope. The galaxy had mocked humans, called them weak, called them prey, but that was changing. One contract at a time, one mission at a time. Soon everyone would know the truth. Humans were not the strongest species. They were not the fastest. They were not the most advanced. But they were survivors, hunters, predators who used their minds as much as their bodies, who never stopped, who never gave up. And in a galaxy full of strong, fast, deadly species, that made humans the most dangerous of all. Reached his ship and looked back at the station one last time. Somewhere in there was probably telling stories about the human who came back from Thresh 7. Those stories would spread, change, grow. Let them thought, let the whole galaxy hear. Let them know that humanity had arrived. And they were not going anywhere.